I think what's necessary is a cheers. Here goes
Cheers.
nothing.
I know. Cheers to you guys. First time. Ooh. She's, yeah.
No, does she taste weird?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Is it the stuff at the bottom?
Yeah, I guess a week-old wine is
Well, noted. So I guess to start us off, I mean, Eli Harris.
Hi.
Right?
Yes.
And then I'm Renee Ballou.
Renee Ballou.
Yep. And this whole thing is your inspiration. So like lead us off. Why are we here on this couch? How did you get here? How did we get here?
Still asking myself that to this day. I know when we were talking about this, walking the Spanish Moss Trail yesterday and leading up to this, I think we just all get stuck in what we do every day and the mundane of our work and everything else. And I just wanted a creative outlet and a way for me to just express myself and just honestly have fun with it. And it's funny, I'm obviously having to get the jitters out for this being my first time, or our first time, I should say. Wow, that could be taken so many different ways.
We'll get into
so
that
many,
in another episode.
so many contexts. But yeah, I just was like, all right, career's going well, like really happy with life in general, but it's just going by so fast, and sometimes I think we just get caught up in so much stuff that we don't take a step back to maybe have more intentional conversations with friends or maybe people we admire or things we want to learn more about. And I mean, and a little bit of selfishness is like, I wanted to create this for myself. I wanted to have a creative outlet and be a little bit more intentional with my life and some of the conversations that I have with people.
Yeah, I think that along those same lines, you mentioned that what we do, we get caught up in what we do every single day. And to that same extent, it also becomes so common knowledge for us. And I think the interesting thing is that we're both in real estate. And some of the things that we know and talk about every single day is not common knowledge to everybody else. And in an age where everything is at your fingertips, I personally, and I could get on a soapbox about this, but I personally think that it's your technology isn't going to replace the human conversation.
Right.
And the way that we're able to practically apply different theories and things that we've learned, and the best education that you can get about things that you aren't necessarily knowledgeable about is by having conversations with people. And I think that might be part of your inspiration in doing all of this. And we're not just sitting on our phones in our free time, what little that we have, doom scrolling. And we're being more intentional about it and having conversations about real estate, life, where we live, everything.
Struggles.
Like... cloud seeding.
Oh, she's bringing in the personal jokes too much now. 100%. And just to give more context to maybe someone that maybe watches this that doesn't know us one day, is I'm a realtor. Renee is a real estate attorney. We actually met here in Beaufort, South Carolina, almost 4 years ago. We actually met at a closing table before I was a realtor, and hit it off.
Yeah, actually, I think that would, going into that story, would probably be a fun thing to do right now.
Oh, fun. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well, do you just want to say how we met, or?
Do we want to, you want to spitball, and like you can start with your perspective when you walked into my office.
She was like, he's cute. Yeah, so funny enough, I had just moved here in September of 2021. You had moved here when?
No, I moved here September of 2021.
Oh, yeah.
You guys moved like October.
Well, September into October. Okay. We moved here. And then, I bought a house here, and my partner and I moved here. And anyways, we were living here for a few months. And then I worked in technology at the time. And some good friends of mine we're buying a house here in Beaufort, an investment property. And
those good friends just so happen to be my clients for
yes.
closing. Yeah.
And so I just went into the close. They said, hey, can you sign for us? I guess POA or
power of attorney.
Yeah, power of attorney. So I just walked into the office and was basically like, okay, just tell me where to sign. I had to sign Elijah Lee Harris on behalf of, or how does it go?
Something like that.
Something of
yeah.
this person's name, and then on behalf of this person's name. So when a typical closing can take you, I'm going to say 30 to 40 minutes, this one took like a solid hour, probably by that chance. And, you know, I'm just signing. Like, I'm not really worried about the how much things are, I don't know, all the legal stuff.
Oh, so you're not paying for it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not my house.
So we just started chatting, and she had just moved here a few months prior from Columbia, South Carolina. And anyways, we were just like, hey, we should be friends. Like, I think, like, I don't know anybody here. You don't know anybody here. So, like, let's just go grab a drink and get dinner and hang out. I don't know. Anything else to add to that?
No,
I have some more funny thing to add to that.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about if I wanted to talk about this.
I think we should.
But I think why not? I was in the beginning stages of building my business down here and really growing because, you know, like Eli mentioned, I moved here from Columbia to open up an office. And
I'm already laughing.
So I think we didn't meet again until like January or so.
It took like a month or two. Yeah, because it was December and then maybe in January.
Because I remember getting a text message from you for New Year's saying like, Happy New Year's. I hope you had a good time. And I was like, oh.
Damn, I was aggressive.
Right? Yeah, you really wanted to be friends. But I thought it was really nice. And so we made plans to go get drinks or have dinner
at Old
with
Bull.
You and your partner.
We had an actual reservation.
Yeah, and that's good. Thinking back now of what I did, so I had gone out to drinks for business development the night before and was not feeling. No, I canceled because I had to go do business development to build my business.
And we committed to the next day.
Yeah, and that's when I didn't feel so great.
Yeah, and you're like, well, I can't cancel on him again.
No, because I really didn't want, because I had a feeling it was getting to the point where it was like, I'm going to stop putting effort into this.
Yeah. And so anyways, we went to dinner the next night, and yeah, we just had a really fun time. And to know that she was probably performing at 65-70%.
Oh, it was like 40.
Oh, okay. You know,
yeah, I
still hit it off.
You guys and I have talked about how you could tell how hungover I was from the day before.
Yeah, we could tell.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you had anything to drink. Maybe one drink.
Maybe half of it. Yeah. I may have done it just for show.
But anyways, that was the start of our relationship. And then I worked in technology for another year or so, and then I got laid off. And it was a great thing because I'd been manifesting it basically for the year. I was like, man, if I could get a good severance package and then just dive headfirst into real estate, like that was my goal. And more background, and we can talk more about it on another episode or at some point, but I have a few investment properties, and they've done well, and it really helped launch my interest in real estate, and I just wanted to pursue that further. But yeah, I got laid off. At 8 a.m. an email went out to all of the company that I was working at that 10% of the company was getting laid off. In the time I was working in recruiting, so when you're on a hiring freeze, who are the first people that are going to get laid off? The HR recruiting team. But anyways, 8 a.m. email went out. I had something put on my calendar for 11:15 that morning with our VP, and it was for like a 5-minute snippet. So I was like, okay, I know what the hell this is. And so literally in between that 8 a.m. and 11:15 a.m. time, I researched like different real estate courses, found one that was instructor led, paid for it, and signed up for the intensive like
I don't even think I knew that.
Really? Oh yeah. And signed up for the intensive like 3 or 4 week course that was like 8 hours a day. And I was just like, hell yeah, let's just get it. And I remember getting on the phone with my VP, and he was like so sad because oddly enough, he was in Charleston, and he was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, I know you just came over to the team. And I was like, everything's great. I'm good.
You gave me severance.
Yeah, you gave me severance.
Okay, back to it. So you got a severance. You had already decided,
signed up for real estate.
Just went
headfirst into it. Did the couple weeks intensive course where it was like 8 hours a day.
That was in like what? In
That was
October or
yeah, I remember
September?
I got
Because
laid
you
off
started,
September
that's right,
28th.
because you officially became a member of team in
It
December?
was Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So yeah, because I did the intensive course, but then you have to do these preliminary tests, then you have to do fingerprints and wait for all that stuff to come back. So yeah, it was Thanksgiving of when I joined my team. So it was great because it was cool because I got to meet you, and then I got to learn a lot more, I would say, just about the real estate dealings and just about the market here and everything else. Because still, I guess at that point, I was only a year into living in Beaufort, which is...
I was literally about to segue in that. We keep saying where we live and we keep using
Oh, yeah.
pronouns. We haven't actually said where we're located
Yeah, what's
yet.
Beaufort's gender pronouns? He, him, they, she.
I think it's definitely he, him,
Yeah,
which we can get into in another point.
that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're in, for maybe our future followers that don't know us, we're in Beaufort, South Carolina, which is right in between Charleston and Hilton Head, or Savannah, sorry, right next to Hilton Head. We're like a lot of people consider us a mini Charleston. It's a little hidden gem, but not so hidden anymore.
No, I really wish it would stay hidden though.
I mean, yes and no, because then that's how we get paid.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but and that's how the city develops and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
there's
But
definitely some things at Beaufort we could use.
yes,
Yes,
specifically a Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's,
So
yeah.
if the founder of Trader Joe's happens to be listening to this podcast, one of the 5 people that will probably listen to it at first, if you own Trader Joe's, call me.
Yeah, so we're here. And I mean, just side note, my parents came here 14 years ago. My
Oh no,
stepbrother.
I'm glad you brought that up because I
Yeah.
was going to say you've actually been around Beaufort longer
Yes.
than how we've both lived here.
Yeah, 100%. So my parents moved here 14 years ago. Stepdad's retired military. My brother graduated from the Marine Corps here back in 2000, and my parents vacationed here every year. And they always said that they would retire here, and then back in 2011, they moved from my hometown in Georgia. And yeah, they were actually on vacation, and my stepdad just stopped at the at the hospital, and just to see if there was a job opening, and he applied and got it, and we sold our house in 6 weeks, and they just like moved here all of a sudden, which is kind of
That's
crazy.
crazy. That's like the people I've done closings for people before where they sell their house here and they're selling everything and they're moving to Europe. That's their
Oh,
dream. And I'm like, I've done it for someone who's moved to Europe and someone who's moved to like a tropical island.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the tropical island?
No.
Oh. Very memorable.
Yeah, no.
I love that. And then your background, just, I mean, you're originally from Greenville, but I guess
I will
technically...
never, ever, ever claim that.
Really? Are you going to claim Colorado or
No,
California?
probably California. Yeah. Okay. So born in Colorado, but we only lived there for 3 months after I was born.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily claim it.
Yeah.
But we did live in San Diego for 7 years.
Okay.
And then we moved to Greenville, and I spent the rest of my childhood in Greenville.
Yeah.
But
and then you, just for the people at home, where'd you go to school? What did you do?
Well, just in case you haven't figured out how to Google me yet, I went to undergrad at a small liberal arts college called Presbyterian College. It's actually the smallest school in Division I. And we transitioned to Division I my freshman year. Shout out Blue Hose. And it was quite possibly the best 4 years of my life. Like, I made some of the best friends I'll ever have at that school. Fun fact, I'm from Greenville. So Greenville's up here. PC's here in the small town of Clinton, South Carolina. And then Columbia is down here. So it's smack and dab in the middle. Never heard of it. Hadn't heard of it until they recruited me to go play soccer. Had no idea that place existed.
Oh my God.
So just a little...
How many people are in Clinton?
At the school, it's like 1,200 or less now.
And what about at the town?
That's just at the undergrad.
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea about the town. Those aren't demographics that I have any interest in.
Knowing you, that tracks.
Yeah, what do I care? What does it provide me?
But you played soccer. You did soccer all 4 years.
Yeah. I
Okay,
played
gotcha.
soccer for all 4
And
years.
what position?
I mean, all over the place.
Go ahead, tell the story. It feels like something.
No, I was just going to say that's what she said. We can also cut that part out.
No,
Yeah.
say it.
I mostly played defense in college, like,
Okay.
but
A
all the
winger or
different,
like center?
all of
Oh,
them.
okay.
I think I started like stopper or defensive center back, whatever you want. No, defensive center mid, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And then I think I went to outside wings, and then I went to center mid. I could go off on a tangent and tell a pretty funny story right now.
Would love a tangent. Let's go.
So before I got to PC, my coach had never started any freshmen. They were always like benchers until they earned their right. So now that we were Division 1, there's no hazing. And so
Is that really an obvious?
that's fair. Fair point. And I think during preseason, some of the upperclassmen got a little bored, and they brought the freshmen a thing of brownies.
Oh.
And we were like, this is too nice. There's no way that they would just bring us brownies. And we actually sat in the room as we were looking at them and said, y'all, what if they put something in these brownies? Turns out they did. They put laxatives in the brownies.
I'm like, would weed or laxative, which one would be better?
Laxatives, because it's not an illegal drug. So like we got drug tested.
Oh, that's fair. Okay,
so
yeah.
That doing weed would be a little
now,
bit,
so
yeah.
like, yeah.
That's a little more serious.
Yeah.
Laxatives is like, no, it's fun. And it only affected one person out of the group of freshmen that ate them.
What
Oddly
does that
enough,
say about everyone else?
Stomachs of steel. The one that it affected has IBS. So we really did a number on her. And we had weightlifting the next morning, and she missed our weightlifting class. That's how it was like all found out. Coach found out about it. And obviously those girls that did it had to sit out our first game. So he technically did not have the numbers to not play freshmen.
Yeah.
So myself and one other freshman got to start.
Okay.
The very first game, and then I started every other game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, except for I missed a few. A few were for injury, and then there was like some other reasons.
Sounds like maybe for another time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, should we? Oh, do you want to do questions, by the way?
Oh, yeah. So before we got started with this, Eli actually came up with some questions.
ChatGPT helped me. Let me call that out.
That makes sense. Some questions that we could get into, and we thought that kind of in this like introductory episode where we're all getting to know each other and kind of introducing ourselves. I mean, you already kind of asked this one to me, but like one of the questions is, where did you grow up, and what's something about that place that shaped who you are? Which I think this will actually be an interesting question for you because of where you're from.
Yeah. So I grew up in a super small, do you remember the name?
Sandersville.
There you go.
We can go into why I remember that name in a different
episode. But yeah, I grew up in a super small town called Sandersville, Georgia.
What was the population?
Yeah, so it's I think it's on the decline, but it's like 5,000 something. It's pretty tiny, small town. Yeah, it was like I technically started out in a private school there. If I would have stayed there, I would have graduated with like 20 people. But then I went to the public school eventually, and then graduated. And I think our graduating class was like 250 or something like that. But we're like, there's one school for the entire county, you know? So it's like that type of small town. It's in between Macon and Augusta, an hour from each, 2.5 hours from Atlanta. So it's smack dab in the middle of the state with not really anything around it or things to do. I mean, and you know, at the end of the day, like I love it. I still have like great friends and family there and everything else. But you know, I just knew that I wanted something bigger and to get out and do something different.
Can I pause you right there really quick? Because I think this is a fun question to ask. So the small town of 5,000 people is all that you know.
Yeah.
what makes you want to, like, it's not that you don't have internet and things like that, because you do. You have access to the outside world. It's not like you're some,
I mean,
tribal
technically though, it didn't come
on.
around until like middle school of when internet
Yeah,
really started to
that's
become a
true.
thing.
And
Like
I
I'm
guess my question is,
37,
like,
so
that's what you knew. How did you know that, like, New York and San Francisco, which are both places that you've lived,
yeah.
were what you wanted to do? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm like, how much do I want to share on this podcast
Yeah,
right
I
now,
think
this
that's
moment?
fair.
Um, um,
And I'm asking because this is actually something I don't
oh,
know.
really?
Yeah. Well, you and I have never talked about this.
Yeah. So, um, I knew that was a little bit different
Mm-hmm.
than the majority of people in my town. And funny enough, what actually kind of got me thinking about other things was, and it's funny because now people have like things like chat roulette and stuff like that. But back in the day, there were like aim
We had
chats.
chat roulette too. Did you
Did
never
we?
do? Yeah. You never did chat roulette?
No.
We did.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Limited,
Yeah.
our knowledge was limited where I was from.
That's fair.
But no, like, you have AIM chat and then you have like Yahoo chat. And I just remember like going into like Yahoo chat rooms and like, friends and I and me by
Yeah.
myself, like you're just randomly talking to people, which is actually hilarious because looking back on it, I don't know, I feel like parents would be like, what the heck were you doing? You're chatting with random people all around the world.
No, 100%. Like, we
Yeah.
should not have been doing
Oh,
that.
100% not.
AIM, ASL
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah.
like, I shouldn't have been talking to any of those
Yeah,
people.
yeah. And
Sorry, Mom.
definitely wasn't honest about my age.
No.
Right.
No, not at
Um,
all.
but anyways, yeah, I was just like kind of randomly like chatting with people and like I don't know,
Bigger cities
yeah,
and
bigger
stuff like
cities
that.
and just kind of like let me learn a little bit more, about what was outside of my town. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And which the internet, social media, all that stuff can be a double-edged sword. And like I just hope that
Well, and thank God we didn't have what we had
I know. I mean, yeah,
now
I had
back then.
MySpace. I remember that, which I like laugh about because I think about like, wow, we were like coding
Oh, I
at that
never
age.
got into
Oh,
that.
you didn't get into like
Never got
copying
into
the
it.
things and like change backgrounds. You could instead of just being like top 4 or 8, you
No,
could do
I
top
think I
16.
could equate it to how I feel about Game of Thrones. It's too complicated. And I just didn't have the time or energy to
No.
spend on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like, I started just like kind of randomly chatting with people and just kind of randomly. I just remember like Yahoo chat rooms. Oh God, sorry, Mom, for saying some of this,
Yeah.
but I just remember like chatting with people, like people that were my age. And then when I could like drive a car, like they were in Georgia as well, and like I don't know, we went to the outlets or to the mall or something, and like whatever. Um, and I don't know, it just felt like it kind of opened me up, and then you know, not to get too much into it, but I started dating someone when I was like 16 and they were a year older than me. And then they ended up going to UGA to college. And I just remember like I was always going to go to college, but neither of my parents went. And it was just kind of this like thing that I had no clue about. And like in
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, like, UGA's not like an easy school to get into. But after
Isn't it easier for out of state to get into Georgia than it is for in state? I heard that at some point.
that's easier in state.
No, easier out of state for
I
people
would
to get
say
in.
out of state. And then I would say maybe I had a little bit of a leg up because I was from a small town. I feel like Atlanta kids have a little bit harder because a lot more competition from like small towns. I don't want to say it's easier, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, when the person I dated went to UGA, I just remember visiting and, I think I was junior or sophomore. And I just remember like that became my new goal. I was like, I want to experience something way bigger, go to a campus with 30,000+ students. And it's
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
wild to
which
me.
is like opposite, right? Of
Complete
you.
opposite.
Like,
Yeah, I didn't get big classes. My biggest class was when I started law school.
oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's only
USC, right?
75 people.
South Carolina. Yeah.
The real Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but back to your original question, I loved actually growing up in a small town. I don't know. I felt like it was just it had the values, it had the small town charm, and
I get that because I feel the same way about my undergrad.
yeah,
You know, if I didn't show up for class, I was getting an email from my professor that said, "Hey, why weren't you in class today?" I'm like, "I'm in college. I'm hungover. Leave me alone."
right,
You
right, right,
know,
right.
whereas you in college got to like push a button or give your clicker to someone else and push a button.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my best friend and I probably definitely shared clickers
Oh,
to
I
make
heard
sure.
stories. I know.
um, but yeah, it it's a cool place, and I still love to go back and visit friends and family and stuff. But you know, Beaufort, I consider Beaufort my home, and whether I stay here forever or not, I know I'll always have ties here, and I'll have homes here, and that this is like what I consider my home base.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and to kind of piggyback off of that, and also we heard sounds that are 100% going to pick up
Yep.
in just a minute. I kind of want to segue into, and honestly bringing us back probably to the beginning of everything, but part of what you've talked to me about wanting to do this podcast is like you want it to be very you and you want
Mm-hmm.
it to be very authentic. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that doing it out on this porch is that. One of the lovely things about Beaufort is the cicadas that we hear that
Yeah.
you just heard in the background. And we do live next to a military base
Yeah. Air
and
station specifically.
in an air station, and I feel like I'm in Top Gun every single time I hear one of those fighter jets fly by. And I absolutely love being on the phone with people and
You're
saying,
like, give
hold
me
on,
10 to
give
15
me
seconds.
10 seconds. There's a fighter jet going overhead, you
Yeah.
know? Like, and that is, I mean, like we talked about before we actually started videoing this, but we're still figuring out how this is going to work, how you want this to look.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think doing it out here and like, yeah, you hear the noises, but like
Yeah.
this is what makes us happy is like being outside. I
Yeah.
have to sit in an office all day. I might as well get some vitamin D while I can
I know.
and do something with my brain.
Yeah. If you the camera zoomed in close enough, you definitely see us glistening right about now with all the sun out here and it being like 90 degrees.
Yeah, these
But to
pants
your
are
point.
definitely sticking to me at this point.
Oh, and I'm like, do I have sweat
A
spots yet
little
on my
bit, yeah.
sweater?
Yeah,
You know.
it's okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we live in such a special place, and how this develops, like, you know, I know we're supposed to be in a soundproof studio, like you're saying, or something, you know, way more professional, but it's just more just about doing it, man, and just like getting out here and like us having a fun conversation around it. And who knows, it may be on the Spanish Smalls Trail one day where we do something. And my dream for this, honestly, and I hope people support this, or I know people will support this as well, is I want to do this like with you, and I think it'd be really fun with our banter. And but then also we come from the real estate background, and a goal of mine is also to share tidbits and like help people build wealth and what that might look like from, you know, investment properties, or like we can even talk about like LLCs and protecting yourself that way, and estate planning from your side. Like, I mean, I feel like we can take it so many different directions, but I didn't want real estate to kind of be the main focus, because I think both of us are so much more than just that. We just happen to be also very passionate about real estate as well.
I mean, I don't think I could have said it any better
Thanks.
myself, to be honest. Like, sure, I love real estate. I love what I do. I love getting to meet people and I love getting to talk to people. But, like, you know, fun fact, I don't know if you know this, I think you do, but like, I have a degree in art.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
I
So,
forget
like,
about it, but yeah.
same. You know, like I do enjoy the creative outlets. And another fun thing, I don't know, my career path when I decided to go to college, I was going to do interior design. I
Yes.
loved trading spaces on TLC.
Oh man.
That was my show.
Have you been seeing the Instagram thing though, with those terrible people from the '90s that are doing the terrible home renovations?
They're all terrible
No,
nowadays.
these are bad.
Okay.
Where they're like freshen up your room, and they're on hardwood floors painting a rug on the hardwood floor. You know what I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
And then they're like,
Yeah.
you know, we want to make these corners, and they put these decorative fake gold, I don't know, Roman things.
Listen, the 90s was a moment.
Dude.
The early 2000s were certainly a moment for kitchens in orange hardwood. It had like a very like Italian mafia vibe to the
Yeah.
kitchens. It was like, let me put quartz everywhere
And
in
then it molded into just
natural
everything gray.
tones.
Then it molded into just, you know
See,
what I mean?
yeah,
Mid
I don't like
2000s.
the agreeable gray and all that stuff
Yeah.
that's been trending
Yeah.
lately.
These builders, stop doing the gray LVP, please.
But what I do like, like when I bought my house, I think my master bedroom was green and it was a nice green, but I like starting from a blank canvas.
100%.
Like I'm going to paint it all white and then I'll go back in
Yeah.
and do my little touches and finish and do the things there.
Yeah, which we can talk about that too at some point, about real estate and just like painting and you know what I mean, and about what needs to be turnkey and have right and all that stuff too. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna put this on the video because I think it would also be fun to talk about, and we would need to do some research into it. But this is something I would love to research: is small towns dying off, because we have a ton of them in South Carolina, especially along the coast. When you're like, because you were talking to me about Sandersville and how it's now the population is declining. It fascinates me because I'll be traveling to like Litchfield Beach or something like that up the coast, and I'm going through these small towns, and in my head I say, I haven't seen a gas station in, I don't know, 30 miles. Haven't seen a school once. Where's a grocery store? And so it's just like, I love to talk about that. It's interesting to me.
Side note, yeah. All right. Well, so cloud seeding and small town.
We need to make it rain in there. Those
maybe we bring the rain and then it starts.
Well, anyways. Yeah, the crops, they are farm towns usually.
What were you talking about?
We were talking about Beaufort. We went on a tangent.
Oh yeah,
Beaufort
real estate
and
the
real
purpose
estate
and
the
all that.
purpose and just like how all the sounds and stuff is like us, and that we want to use this as a creative outlet, and like then it's like, yeah, I have an art degree, and
oh yeah, and then you're that thing. Okay, well, let's ask a question, or let me pick a question.
Okay,
let's do that.
Let me pull it up. There you go.
All right, which category you want to go into?
One of the categories, I think you have to swipe left or right.
Oh, okay. Ooh, let's do fun stuff. Let's see. What song do you blast in your car when nobody's watching? My God, I feel like if anyone was watching, you would still blast it.
I have to tell you, I read this question last night, and I go, does he mean watching or listening?
Well, nobody's watching.
I know, but if I'm blasting, they have to be listening.
Yes. Oh my God, semantics. Okay.
I'm not going to play needles with you.
Exactly. What are you blasting?
Honestly, I don't know, because I really like I love a lot of different genres. Like, for instance, I sent you and your partner a message yesterday of John Baptiste, and I was like, musical genius, and it was a classical piano song. It was for Elise, and I loved it. No one responded to my text message. It's fine.
We were so moved that we were just silent.
You didn't even listen to it. First of all, I know that for a fact.
Fact.
It's fine. We're moving on from it. No, I don't hold a grudge whatsoever.
No one's feelings were hurt.
Yeah, nope, not at all. So I like it. It depends on my mood, right? Like, if I'm in like, I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that question, because
I'll be honest, I don't know what I would answer.
There is nothing like, I love Miley Cyrus. I love Britney Spears. I love Spice Girls.
You know what song just came to my head?
What?
Linger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger?
I was thinking about my sorority song, that's Linger.
Oh, yeah, definitely not that.
Yeah, no, we don't need to get into that either. Nope. One that is probably surprising that I know all the words to and I love singing.
What?
Is Two Step by Sierra.
Oh, I love to. I can Two Step.
We're not doing this right now, but no, 100% not. I can't, but I can sing all the words to that song.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sierra, I love listening to it.
Sierra's fire. Shout out, need a deal. You ask me a question?
Yeah. Oh, I like this one because it goes back to what I was saying too when we went off at a tangent about how I got to what I do. What did you think you'd be when you grew up?
Ooh. So when I was young, I loved drawing houses. Did
On the
you?
grid paper?
Oh yeah, of
Yeah,
course. I like
I did
any
too.
paper, grid paper, whatever.
And I absolutely loved and still do love The
Hmm.
Sims, like designing my own
We talked about
houses.
this, didn't we?
I don't think
I haven't
so.
answered my question, but so an architect is what I thought I wanted to be when I was young. Still not, no. Um,
Didn't you have to go to school for that?
yeah,
Okay.
you know, this whole thing. So, anyways, but I love looking at how, as you know, I love looking at house plans. I love redesigning a house plan. I
Mm-hmm.
love figuring out the feng shui of things. Like when we looked at doing an addition actually on the back of this porch, I mean, you saw my like several renditions of this. And then I did hire an architect. Funny enough, is if she sees this, shout out Megan. Thank you for all your help.
Sorry,
But
they're so difficult.
yeah, sorry, we're not we, me. I'm difficult, but designed this whole thing, and then she designed something, and then I said, "That's nice, but just draw what I drew." And I was like, "Just do what I."
You just do the architecture part
Yeah,
of
you
what
do
I
the
did. Like,
architecture
is
and all
this
that. Um,
feasible?
but to come back to what you were saying is, yes, I played The Sims, but I just did the command rosebud semicolon colon, and I would hold.
The
This is what.
exclamation point, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
would.
would go back and be like,
No, you know what I would do?
huh?
I would put the remote control on the enter button when the big long keyboard with the key
Yeah.
numbers over
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Put the yeah, you don't know this about me. I would put the remote on it so it'd hold the enter button down. So then I would go to sleep and then wake up in the morning, and then it would just be infinite money in my bank account. So I never had to go back
What?
through and do it like enter each time and
I
all of that.
don't think I ever knew that trick.
Yeah, so I would just hold. So then I would go on there. Man, I designed whole several houses. I designed a church with a graveyard, and so that means I just kept killing the people with like taking the ladder out of the pool, so they couldn't get out. So I'd have so many gravestones. I created a whole city, Sim City, I guess, and
Yeah.
or the
Oh,
Sims,
that's fun.
but yeah.
God, I
So,
love that game. Okay, so what you wanted to be when you grew up was architect.
yes, an architect.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
yes.
That's
What
nice.
did you want to be? Interior designer or?
I don't know, when I was little. I don't know if I had that thought in my head. I was
Yeah.
just kind of vibes.
Oh, technically, I want to be a bus driver. My mom has a picture of me with a sweet mullet sitting in the bus driver's seat. That I
So
love
funny you
buses.
say that because I've actually thought about like I could do that when I retire. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, you know what? You could, when my stepdad, go drive the trolleys on base.
Oh my god,
for
I
graduation.
would do it
Y'all
in a
would have
heartbeat.
fun.
I would do it now.
Yeah, that's my real goal in life, is to work and make enough money so I can retire early, but go have like a really fun job like that,
Yeah, I would do
where
that now.
it's
And
no
I would
pressure,
love those little golf cart tours that we did.
See, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be. Now I'm trying to think of ways of how we could like interact while we're on it, and then like we pretend like we crash into each other,
Gosh,
and we do a whole
we should
scene.
actually do
What?
is like in Savannah, that like big cities have them, where it's like a comedy tour. I went on one in Asheville, and it was like a history lesson, but they also did a comedy show at the same
I
time.
love us, but I don't know if we're that comedic.
We'll be there. I've got great comedic timing, first of all. Have you met me?
I'll drive the golf cart then, and then I'll just like add in little things.
Like the whole point of why you wanted me to sit here today was our banter.
Mhm.
I think it would be great.
That's fair.
No, I don't know what I wanted to do as a kid. I think I was just vibes.
And just vibes. Okay.
Yeah, but in high school, is when I started loving trading spaces and decided that I wanted to. Can you put something there?
Okay.
I decided that I wanted to be an interior designer, and then I think my freshman year I realized that like a starting salary was around 40 grand. I said, not for me. And so then
I would have thought it was like 25 grand, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was happy with 40 grand.
Oh, I was too. Out of college, I mean, I was making like 25 grand. I felt like a queen. And now I don't know how I did it.
No clue.
At all.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that, and then I switched to marketing, and then I did an internship one summer in marketing, and I was like, this is not enjoyable. Actually, it's not, big tall city skyscrapers unless I'm living in New York or
Yeah.
something, and like at a big, time marketing firm. And then I decided I was going to do event planning, and I was going to be an event planner. I worked for the event planner in college. It's like my work study program. And then my summer before my senior year, I was intern at an event planning company in Charleston because we lived there for the summer. And I decided my weekends are gone, my holidays
Yeah.
are gone. And what really tipped me over the edge was we had a bride who couldn't decide between matte napkins or shiny napkins. And I'm just like, no one, they're wiping their mouths with this, who cares?
Right.
And so that was kind of my last straw for
Yeah.
that. And I was dating someone at the time who was in law school and sounded interesting.
I don't know if I know this part.
Sounded interesting. And so I was like, I don't know, I think I would be kind of good at that. And so I went to my parents and said, I think I want to go to law school. My dad thought that I was just going to school because I didn't know, I was still just vibing. Like I was still just vibes.
She's committed to the vibes.
Yeah. I was still just vibing and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But it turns out here we are. I graduated 11 years ago. Still enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did not know that that's what kind of kicked it over the edge, was someone that you were dating. You're like, huh, sounds interesting.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of those where I said, I want to go to the same law school where he is and like follow him.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I actually think that I could be good at this and maybe better than what you think you could be at this.
Ooh, this is a little like a Legally Blonde moment.
Oh, what? It's what? Like it's hard?
Give me that phone.
You want to switch gears?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. You want to? Well, let's see. What's the? Oh. All right. You want to do something with the community, something real estate, or fun stuff? Which area?
I don't know. Whatever you're
Pick
feeling.
one. Pick one.
You're the one asking the question.
Ooh. All right. A little deep.
Oh gosh.
You ready? What's something you're working on improving? It can be work or life related.
I mean, at this point, they're probably both intertwined, to be
Fair.
honest. I think the biggest thing that I'm working on, both internally and externally, is giving people grace and giving myself grace.
Which one's harder?
Myself,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm my worst critic.
Yeah.
100%. I think that COVID, the way that we had to adapt during COVID and be reachable remotely, has not done a lot for our mental health after COVID when we're back to being in person with people. This is just my personal opinion. Because everybody is so attainable now, no matter where you are. It's become an expectation.
Setting new precedents, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that we all need to remember that we're humans. We are more than just our jobs. We are actually people who go through things, who feel things, who have other interests and have other things, and everybody, I think, needs a work-life balance.
Yeah. And it's funny that you're saying that, because I hear you on the work-life balance, and my team lead would say work-life balance doesn't exist. And I think in the sense that you'll never be fully balanced, in her opinion. And I think I actually agree with that type of thing. But on the flip side, I think what you're also saying is, it's good to set boundaries with people, with work, with everything.
100%. I think it's also different too, though. I'm in corporate world, and you guys have the flexibility that I don't have Monday and Friday. I think there's a little bit of a difference between that from where our jobs come from on that standpoint, as far as finding a work-life balance. I can only go to the gym at 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a break at 11, you could go.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's certainly the argument that I could take a lunch break and go and do it. It's just, it's
Yeah.
much more difficult. I don't want to be sweaty in
Yeah.
a closing at 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
you know. So I think the goal is, yes, my goal is there. Like the next office I get, I want a shower in it so
Yeah.
that it affords me those opportunities. But I just
Oh, goals, shower in the
showers,
office.
yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. That is one of the boxes I want to
You
check.
technically do have a shower in the Buford office.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel weird using it. So, um,
Yeah, fair.
but yeah, you know, but there's just some opportunities that I don't have. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not afforded the opportunity, that flexibility at this time.
I think the hard part is it's kind of interesting because most attorneys, I feel like, you know, they're strong 9 to 5, and I feel like you do a pretty good job of that. But I feel like you definitely have a little bit more leeway and wiggle room where like people can like reach out to you and like a lot of attorneys will not give their cell phones, right? And like you're giving your cell phone number and people are reaching out to you all the time. And I mean, that's my job too, right? Like I'm 24/7, 365, and that's been a bit of an adjustment, and I'm trying to figure out, because I'm like, if I don't answer the phone, I'm not making money, you know. And I know, and then if I'm calling you because an emergency is happening, and it truly is something that's like, you know, like technically I have something now, you know. And I don't know, it's just sometimes I think hard with our jobs and careers. We're not brain surgeons. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, like, it's not like our life is like in peril or anything like that, but we are dealing with usually the largest asset of someone's being your life.
I think that to your point, um, of like, if I don't answer this call, like it's could be lost money or income to me, is, but that's, I think that's also where I'm talking about work life balance, right? Because as you get further on in your career, like your team lead, and she's like a pro at like delegating and things like that. I don't mean to say that in like a bad or negative way, but I'm trying to say, like, that's where I think the work life balance is, and then finding your boundaries. Part of it is that I'm in a situation where I am afforded the ability to answer a phone call if it's an emergency at 9 o'clock at night. I don't necessarily want to be in that position. Single men in your mid 30s. I
support this.
Yeah, this is a plug.
It's a plug.
You know, so like I think that's part, like, you know, there's a lot of tons of people have families and stuff like that. So but I think also boundaries is important in multiple facets of your life, your work, your relationships, almost everything you do.
Yeah,
boundaries.
That's what I was about to say. So yeah, I think that's a good translation, right? It's like you're saying work-life balance is kind of like the boundaries piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that, which I think that would be something to actually dive a little bit deeper on maybe at another time. But I think it would be kind of cool to kind of just talk about that more so. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, because I think it's a major thing that people struggle with, and especially in your 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the 30s are awesome, but there's also this like weird make or break, and like things are finally in motion, but then you have all this added pressure of just like societal, personal, work, financially. Yeah. Like it's kind of like all the things.
I could talk for another hour and a half about all that stuff. Personal opinions.
All right, well, boundaries.
Yeah.
So
I have a boundary today.
Yeah, that's our boundary.
Uh-huh.
We hit the fence.
Yes. Yeah.
And all of that. So, but yeah, my mic died. Part of me feels like I feel like this is like a good kind of stopping point.
I agree.
You know, and yeah, we're still trying to figure out what this name looks like and what this will be moving forward. But this is our first introductory one, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So
glad we did it.
Empty glasses, but
cheers.
Cheers.
I think that's the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be empty by the time you finish.
That's right. Bye. Nothing to click or subscribe or do anything at this moment,
subscribe to our Patreon that's forthcoming.
Yes, exactly. Cheers.